I was just headed out to the farm to give you guys a quick update on the status of our crop after a week long of rain, and then this happened. Whoever keeps doing the rain dance, maybe cut it out. We've had enough. This was a pretty nasty storm out here on the northwest side of town. There's still storm behind me, and actually I'm on the clock here on the camera. There's a pretty nasty one over there putting down another absolute downpour of rain. The worst part about this is very significant hail damage out in this field. This was empty about an hour ago, and not only that, look at the debris out in the water from the hailstorm that went through here and clipped off a lot of these beans. A tremendous amount of damage to these soybeans, absolutely shredded the leaf tissue off of them. And even the worst part is we've got some cutoffs down at the ground, which are going to cause pretty significant economic loss out in this field. See, we got soybeans laying over all around. Not good. Not good at all. They do say when it rains it pours. Poured pretty hard out here. And we're definitely not done yet. That does not look good at all. The economic considerations for hail damage are actually pretty similar to the damages caused by frost in terms of killing the plant where it cannot rejuvenate itself. A lot of these are not dead, but they have some significant damage done to their plant tissue. I mean, look at this guy. He lost part of his top trifoliate. It's gone. Cut it clean off. Obviously, we have the water issue. Really disappointing because this is a fantastic looking field of soybeans. Planted them in cold weather, planted them thick and planted them deep, and we have a great stand of beans out here. Gonna take a little bit of hit. We do carry a hail insurance that helps us financially protect ourselves from issues like this. I mean, look at this guy, just got snapped over. That looks like the worst of that storm is going to the west, which is probably for the best, as we've had more than ample amount of rain. That looks like some rotation right there. Is that a funnel cloud? Any experts here want to tell me if that's a funnel cloud? That is a funnel cloud. I'm calling 911 right now. That looks like a disaster averted. That cloud did eventually go back up. I'm almost certain that was a funnel cloud. It had rotation, it was dropping down below. I called it in to the emergency services. Though it does look like it's gone. Hopefully that's not a tornado that arises somewhere else. We definitely avoided a massive rainfall. Look over there, just pouring. That's to the northeast. For those of you unfamiliar, this storm is headed about north-northeast. We missed another round of rain on it as of right now. Went to the west. Very good. Very good. While our neighbors to the north are getting hammered with rain, we're going to head to the south, check out what kind of damage was done down there. There's still lightning over to the southwest. More storms coming across. Probably going to be June before we can replant now. Well, on the bright side, we're back at our home farm. It really hasn't even rained that much down here, maybe a couple tenths, and as you can see, the sun is already shining. I'm glad to see that we did not get another flood down here. Up to the north of town is a minority of our acres. Obviously, we got a little more rainfall than we would have liked, but that's just the way it works out sometimes. We've got storms like this going to be popping up all week. Hopefully, we can avoid a few more of them. That way, we can get to replanting and hopefully put on some nitrogen in the near future. Prior to this storm popping up out of seemingly nowhere, my whole purpose today to come out and make this quick video was to update you on the condition of our corn and soybeans that had a little bit of frost damage. Well, we're out here doing that now, inadvertently, at the same time we're doing a little crop scouting after a pretty nasty rainstorm around the area. But let's check in on that corn and see how it's doing. This field right here suffered the majority of the visible damage from the frost about 10 days ago. You can see most of the plants have recovered and are already a very healthy shade of green. You can tell ones that were hurt are a little short and behind compared to their neighboring plant, but for the most part, everything seems to have recovered. This plant right here had been heavily damaged by the frost. It's already put on a lot of growth. You can see where the remainder of the dead tissue is down below. It's already pretty much caught up to its plants beside it. Pretty impressive that corn can grow like that. Out here a little farther, you can still see some remains of the frost damage, dead leaf tissue on some of these plants, but the new tissue is perfectly healthy. A little bit of purpling in the mid vein of the plants, probably due to that cold weather we had over the last week. Plants seem to have issues transporting phosphorus and potassium in cold weather, leading to this purpling on the leaves. It's a sign of deficiency from those two nutrients especially. It's very immobile, so when it happens to an older leaf, you're more likely to see it stay there for the remainder of its life, but the newer tissue will grow out of it. You see this brand new leaf that's coming out of the whorl right now has no purpling on it. This corn's had a rough start to the beginning of its life, but it should recover. That's dead plant tissue right there, frosted off. It came out of it pretty quickly. Warm weather, a little bit less moisture, the ground dried up, conditions are good. Corn's off to the races. It could be knee high by the end of the week. Right across the road from that cornfield, we were a little bit concerned about these soybeans. They seem to be leaning over after that frost. If you can look behind me right now, you can get a pretty quick answer as to whether or not they've been hurt by that cold weather. That right there is a tremendous stand of beans. It does not get any better than that. These beans should be canopied in probably another 3 weeks if the weather continues to be as conducive to growth as it has been over the last few days and as it's going to be over the next week. We're gonna have temperatures near 90. Soybeans absolutely love warm weather, even more so than corn. As long as they have adequate moisture, which there's been no shortage, as you can see, they will grow fast. These beans right here are not as healthy as the beans farther out in the field. You can tell this is where the water drainage pattern runs out through here, down into the ditch over there. We'll have a little bit of beans right there to replant, obviously, where the water stood. A little bit of tissue damage along here. They will recover eventually and hopefully have that nice healthy bush look as those beans out there in the middle do. I bet somewhere there's a rainbow, you just gotta find it. There's always a silver lining to a storm like this. That's gonna be the end of my short little crop update. We've been pretty slow over the last 2 weeks. 3.5 inches of rain across the whole farm has put a damper in our plans. We're gonna have to think a lot about replanting over the next week when we have warm and dry conditions. Our crop is in great shape compared to last year. This warm weather we've had over the last week has really greened everything up, and it's gonna be growing very quickly with a lot of warmth in the forecast. As long as we don't get any more excess rainfalls, our crop should remain in great condition, probably through mid-June with the amount of moisture we have in the ground, so long as it doesn't get 100 degrees. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you have a great weekend, especially if you're in the United States celebrating Memorial Day. Please do not forget all of the men and women who've lost their lives over the last few hundred years to provide for us the freedoms that we have to be able to be as exceptional as we are as a country, to grow the crops we do, to have the fun we do, and to have the other privileges that we're provided that other countries could not even fathom. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace!